On this episode of O'Fallon Matters, city employees learn the art of Kaizen. See what you can do to help keep storm drains clean, and find out how city crews are keeping O'Fallon streets drivable one section at a time. All this and more next on O'Fallon Matters. Welcome to this episode of O'Fallon Matters. Our police facilities are getting an overhaul over the next few years. Let's take a look at progress we've made to plans to our upcoming Justice Center.
When a city grows as fast as O'Fallon does, construction projects become commonplace. Road cones, safety fencing, and heavy equipment are signs that new businesses and homes are coming to O'Fallon. Roadways are being expanded, and new opportunities are being built in our hometown every day. And now, we're in the process of starting a new construction project, unlike any other in the city. Thanks to our voters, O'Fallon is constructing a new Justice Center that will help our O'Fallon police force meet our city's demands both now and well into the future.
Since the voters passed the bond issue back in April, we really were able to start day one with beginning this process and getting it moved forward. And what we've really worked on trying to do is take what is a great conceptual drawing and turning it into reality. And so that process has involved hiring an architect who has begun the actual construction specs and the architectural specs for the building. And now we're in the process of getting ready to bid out for a construction manager. And that construction manager is going to take this process from here all the way to the end, making sure that everybody's on the same page and that all the little details get taken care of and the big details get taken care of.
It might not look like much now, but in a few years, this Bryan Road site will be a hub of police activity. The new Justice Center will allow our police force to expand right along with the city, and it has a lot of benefits for our citizens as well.
You know, with the new station, once it's built, it'll be more accessible to the officers throughout the city, being in that it's on Bryan Road. The other issue, it's going to be more accessible for the public, especially on court nights when we have an influx of people coming in for court. You know, in addition to that, we also are going to have enough space for meeting rooms where the public can come in and use our facility for meeting their neighborhood meetings or meeting with us, and the training rooms will also be available for outside training. So it's going to be a welcomed addition to our city and our police department.
The planning of our Justice Center is nearly complete, and we're looking to move on to the next phase of its development soon.
Hopefully, if all goes well, we could see ground broken on this thing in spring of 2016. So we're not that far off from the point where bulldozers are going to be out there. People are going to start being able to see progress on that site. And from a construction standpoint, once the ground gets broken, we're looking at anywhere from 12 to 18 months probably of construction before we can move on to the grand opening.
Keep watching O'Fallon Matters throughout the year for regular updates on our Justice Center's progress. But that's not all we're doing to improve our city. Joe Meyer recently caught up with our street department's crack sealing crews.
Good job, Rob.
O'Fallon Streets Division maintains over 700 lane miles of pavement. Keeping residents moving along in neighborhoods takes thousands of man-hours, not to mention preventable programs like crack sealing. Sealing roads with hot tar helps maintain neighborhood streets while extending pavement life.
We pour new slabs. It's vital to seal the cracks up and all the seams that we put in there so water and debris don't penetrate and get down beneath those slabs, causing more damage. And we'll be right back here doing the same thing in a shorter time frame. So it really lengthens the life of the pavement that we put down.
The process of crack sealing is straightforward, but it requires a bit of prep and a bunch of tar.
Yeah, we have to identify which areas need to be sealed, whether it's new pavement that we've poured or just some damage to a slab. From there, we go out with a big air compressor and we'll blow all the debris out of the cracks. Then we'll come by with the melter and we'll get that hot tar in there. They go over it with a squeegee, create kind of like a band-aid over the joints and cracks that they're sealing, give it as long of a life as possible.
Crack sealing streets is a tough job. It requires concentration in walking along hot pavement while executing precise seals with blistering hot tar that can reach temperatures around 2,000 degrees.
The heat's a big one. Yes. You know, we'll do this all throughout the summertime. We try and do it in the fall when it's a little cooler. They have to load this machine by hand, 30-pound blocks of tar that they have to throw into that melter. Sometimes that can splash back on you. If that gets on your skin, it's not going to be a good day. And just working in the street alone, we've got traffic, other outside forces that we have to contend with. While they're looking down doing their job, they got to make sure that each one of them is safe and they watch each other's back, and they do a really good job of getting the job done in a safe manner.
The City of O'Fallon has a substantial crack seal program, so it's important that crews work in step to ensure that cracks are continually being filled.
Communication is the big key with any team, and these guys communicate very well. There's certain processes that need to be completed. Lay down the tar, run a squeegee over it to get it exactly where we want it and push down into the cracks. And then a guy's got a soapy solution that he sprays over it so traffic doesn't track up that hot tar before it gets a chance to cure. And then while doing that, each one of them has to make sure the roadway is safe, and wherever they're going and the areas behind them, there's not any dangers approaching their work area.
Now, it's important to remember that O'Fallon street crews are working hard so that you can get from point A to point B. They appreciate your patience and promise to get that crack filled as soon as possible.
It's not just business as usual at O'Fallon City Hall. We're bringing lean government practices to our city and improving our service delivery for citizens. OFallonTV's Brett Figgis has more.
At O'Fallon City Hall, our governmental departments provide important services to our residents. Our road crews maintain the streets serving our neighborhoods and businesses. Our engineers ensure our treatment plants continue to provide high-quality drinking water. And our police department makes O'Fallon one of the safest cities in the country for you and your family. But these are tax-supported services and programs, and we take our responsibility to the residents very seriously. It was a high-priority goal for our City Council to introduce Six Sigma practices, lean government, and Kaizen training to the city. And these important concepts are already improving our efficiency and allowing us to offer better services across City Hall.
It's a very simple process that when you think about it, it's kind of common sense, but trying to be more lean, how do we do things more efficiently, how do we end up getting to the same end but in a faster manner. If you really think about it, it's making your life easier.
Kaizen processes are, in essence, a simplified approach to improvement. It's a methodology centered around boosting efficiency and developing best practices. Lean government strategies like Kaizen training aren't a one-size-fits-all process. Instead, they help city employees come together and develop individualized programs that quickly identify and solve problems, building a culture of continuous improvement. And it's already having a huge impact on efficiency.
It was very interesting when Bonnie asked me to do my Kaizen project of asset tracking to get everybody together who it affects within the city, and we really came up with some good ideas. In order to streamline this process, everybody gave in their 2 cents and we were able to come up with a good proposed solution that really has a cost savings for the city when it comes to manpower.
Kaizen training is used in governments, businesses, and organizations across America. And here in O'Fallon, we're working hard to increase efficiency in every department. Even minor improvements to already efficient processes can add up to big savings for our residents. And as more employees are trained in Kaizen practices, we'll continue to see improvements throughout the city.
So it's major topics to small things that to the average person may not seem like a big deal, but has certainly made us work more efficiently.
It's time for a break. When we come back, we'll give you some advice to keep your storm drains working as designed. Then we'll help keep kids safe when they go trick-or-treating with some common sense tips. Stay with us. You're watching O'Fallon Matters. It's easy to keep your storm drains from overflowing. Today on O'Fallon Matters, we have some good advice to help keep your storm drains clear of debris now and into the future.
If you are a homeowner with a storm drain located by your property, the City of O'Fallon needs your help. Remember that storm drains in your backyard are designed to prevent flooding by allowing excess water to drain into the city's storm sewer system. And if the drain inlets are blocked, they won't work properly, causing problems throughout the system.
The reason you shouldn't dump anything in the city storm sewers is because they all eventually drain to a creek stream, which eventually drains to the river. So all those pollutants that go in the storm sewer, it is not treated water or filtered. What goes in comes out at the other end. So all of that debris gets trapped. It's harmful to our aquatics and our ecosystem with our plant varieties and everything that survives based on the creek and the creek waters.
Keeping our storm drains clear of debris helps prevent your yard and neighboring yards from flooding. To keep your storm drains working properly, you can follow some easy tips that will keep the system running clean and efficient.
Basically what we want you to do is bag your grass clippings, bag your yard waste, either compost it and be able to reuse it or recycle it, or utilize the city's yard waste services in order to get rid of the material properly. That way we don't have to worry about clogs in the system, and when the leaves and the grass break down, they cause algae to grow, which is harmful to the streams. But also all the storm sewers in the city are connected. A lot of them are connected to another one, so a little bit here and a little bit there can add up to a large problem later on.
Also, make sure to keep landscape plantings away from inlets. And if you happen to see branches or twigs by your storm drain, we ask that you please take a few minutes and remove the debris.
Everything we do affects people downstream from us, so if we're conscious of what we do and what we put in the storm sewer, then we can help the environment overall and help the water quality through the City of O'Fallon. So we just recommend that you keep all these openings open, and if you see an issue or problem, you can call our street department for the maintenance division at 636-379-3807, and they will come out and evaluate the storm sewer for you.
Nowadays, people love a good scare on Halloween, but not when it comes to child safety. Here are several tips parents can share with their kids to help them trick-or-treat safely.
Did you know that on average, twice as many child pedestrians are killed while walking on Halloween compared to other days throughout the year? And that's why we asked Kyle Gaines of the St. Charles County Ambulance District to give O'Fallon residents some sound advice on how we can have a blast on Halloween and stay safe at the same time.
On the driver's side, what we really want people to be mindful of is reducing their speed in residential areas, removing all distractions from the car. Everything from, obviously it's illegal to be using your cell phone for texting or anything like that anyway, but certainly in residential areas on Halloween night, we want to be really careful about that. The volume of the radio, be mindful of that also. And then certainly, of course, be on the lookout for kids crossing the street. Be continually scanning left to right in your field of vision to make sure that there aren't kids crossing. I mean, obviously we try and educate kids to use crosswalks, to cross under lighted areas, things like that. But sometimes kids forget in the excitement of being out collecting all their candy. They forget about these things and they will dart out from between two parked cars. So that's why it's important to reduce that speed so you do have that ability to stop quickly if you do need to. There's some other things that go into injury prevention on Halloween night also, and a lot of those have to do with the costumes that they wear. If a costume, princesses are big, superheroes are big, things that have long skirts or a cape or things like that. If that costume's too long, it poses a trip and fall hazard to kids, particularly if there's a couple of steps to go up on a porch to get to somebody's house to collect their candy. And, obviously a trip and fall on concrete steps could cut the night of fun short. So that's one thing to be mindful of. Another thing to check out is if your child's costume involves a mask, and that's a lot of them, but unfortunately sometimes the mask's eye holes are really not big enough to accommodate a whole lot of vision. If you hold it up to yourself, you'll see that you can see straight out in front of you, but you really can't see off to the sides, which if you're crossing the street is a pretty major problem. So what we would recommend is enlarging those eye holes a little bit, and certainly if the kids are concerned about the look of the costume, then you can fill in around the eyes with a little bit of non-toxic makeup to, so the effect is still there. But making sure that they can see should be the highest priority, so that peripheral vision is nice and good whenever they're crossing the street. Light them up any way that you possibly can. You see, all kinds of blinking necklaces that you can pick up at the Halloween store while you're there picking up the costume. You see pumpkins that actually glow while they're carrying them. A flashlight is a good idea to keep with you on Halloween night also, so that whenever you are walking down the sidewalk, you can see where you're going if there is a trip and fall hazard in front of you. We also offer, for free in our community, we have glow bracelets that are available. These are available at all of our ambulance stations throughout the county. There's 14 locations, so you're never more than a couple miles from one. Swing in, pick a couple up for your kiddos. That's what they're there for.
Hopefully, these important Halloween safety tips will help you while you're trick-or-treating. Also, don't forget to share this information with family and friends, because when it comes to keeping our kids happy, active, and safe, we're all in this together.
Strengthening the bond between our citizens and our law enforcement officers is the top priority of this O'Fallon PD division. Let's take a look what the Community Services section is doing for our community.
When O'Fallon officers take their oath of office, they state that they will uphold the Constitution of our country, the laws of our state, and the ordinances of our city. But they also solemnly swear that they will faithfully demean themselves in the office of the police department. Our officers pride themselves on being observant, professional, and dedicated in their service to our city. And the men and women who wear our uniform take part in a number of programs designed to strengthen their bond with our community.
Community Services section, we facilitate several programs, including our social media program, Safety Town, Citizens Police Academy, Senior Citizens Police Academy. We also run the Explorer program. We offer these because we're a full-service law enforcement agency. We do a lot more than just write tickets or answer calls. We try to be very proactive with our community. We have over 80,000 residents that we want to make sure that we take good care of and give them the most service we possibly can.
Programs like the Citizens Police Academy and the Police Open House let families get a taste for what law enforcement is all about. Our police force is in our schools, serving as resource officers, teaching DARE classes, and hanging out with the students. Programs like these are fun for kids, but they're even more enjoyable for our officers, especially at events like Safety Town.
We have the opportunity to be positive with kids, show them positive role models, and to show them that the city of O'Fallon is a wonderful place and has an unbelievable police department, that takes care of these kids on a regular basis.
With Safety Town, it's 800 positive contacts in a summer, and that's huge for us. And it's all ages. We also help the high school kids with their getting to an education at school. So it's got so many benefits that reach far beyond just what the actual program is and reaches all ages.
Another important program in our Community Services Division is the Police Explorers Post, where area youth can get a head start on their future career in law enforcement. And in keeping with the O'Fallon Police Department's priorities, these explorers also give back to the community at events like the Bike Safety Rodeo.
It allows us to show these kids about safety and how to stay safe, and it gives us an opportunity to give back to our community for what they're giving us with the Explorer program.
Other community outreach programs include the National Night Out event, where our officers hit the streets and share a traveling block party with our neighborhoods. Our officers provide station tours and canine demonstrations for schools and organizations, and we've just added a new event that will let citizens interact with our police force over a cup of coffee.
We can go out close to where they live, we can stagger the time so it's convenient for them, and this is just a great way for us to interact with the public without any sort of agenda.
One of the most enduring examples of our police outreach is our officers' unwavering support for Missouri Special Olympics. Dozens of officers have volunteered their time and effort in raising money and awareness for this great program, participating in Special Olympics events throughout the state.
I'm happy to be part of such an awesome and awareness event like Special Olympics and the torch run. To bring so many people together for such an important cause is a really great thing, and I know that law enforcement couldn't be happier to support them and their needs through coaching and fundraising and awareness like today's event.
Our Community Services Division is what community policing is all about. Through programs like these, our officers have made it clear that truly serving the O'Fallon community is their top priority.
We chose to be police officers because we want to help people. We don't get into this line of work because we want to go out and write tickets. We want to go out and help people, whether it's in their worst time of need or if it's just a chance for us to come by and let them know that they're safe and that they have officers there available to them if they need us.
We hope you enjoyed today's show. If you have a good story idea, let us know. You can email us at OFallonTV@o'fallon.mo.us. Please remember, give back to your community because O'Fallon matters to all of us.